to Fireside Chats with Emily. Today we're discussing the novel Beowulf, and I have my friend here, Dr. Piers Pulasic, who studied Anglo-Saxon literature in college, and he's going to help talk to us about the book. But before he does that, I'm going to give us some background information about Beowulf. Beowulf has a very interesting background, considering nobody really knows who wrote the book or actually when it was written. There are many theories about who wrote the book. Like A.S. Cook suggests that the court of King Alfred of Northumbria wrote Beowulf during the year 706, while Dr. Howlett said that the poet subliminally placed his name in lines 887 to 888, and his name was Aethelstan, a priest who served under King Alfred. Another thing that's certain about Beowulf is that it was composed during the Anglo-Saxon period. This period lasted 600 years, from 410 to 1066, and people think that the novel was written in the 5th, 6th, or 8th, 9th, or 10th century. During this time, there was a lot of sub-kingdoms and kingdoms forming, and there was a lot of power changes between bishops and kings. And since many people were illiterate, Beowulf was composed and performed orally. This allowed the spread and changing of Beowulf. Now, Piers, would you like to give us a brief summary of the book?
Yes, I would. Beowulf opens by describing Shield Chieftain, who founds the Danish royal line. His descendants rule for years until Shield Chieftain's great-grandson Hrothgar becomes king. Under Hrothgar, Denmark thrives, so to betray his glory, he constructs a massive mead hall for his men to gather in, which he names the Hora. Denmark is prosperous after it was built, until one day a demon called Grendel arises from the swamps. The demon then slaughters many Danes and takes over the Herat. Grendel terrorizes Denmark for 12 years, and many heroes come to try to save Denmark, but fail. Eventually, Beowulf, a member of the royal family of Geatland, Denmark's neighbor, comes to attempt to defeat Grendel. Beowulf is already a renowned warrior, so Hrothgar and the Danish are excited, as they believe he'll be able to defeat Grendel. However, a dame named Unferth taunts Beowulf, saying he'll be killed. Beowulf responds confidently and says he'll fight Grendel unarmed. The Danish leave, and Beowulf and his men wait at night for Grendel to come. Grendel bursts in and instantly kills a Geatish warrior and then attacks Beowulf. However, Beowulf's strength frightens Grendel, so he tries to run away. Beowulf wrestles with Grendel, but his men's swords are unable to affect the demon, so Beowulf rips Grendel's arm out of its socket. The next morning the Danish return and are amazed at Beowulf's victory. Hrothgar throws a banquet in honor of Beowulf. However, the following night, Grendel's mother attacks the Geats and the Danes. The following day, Beowulf goes to the lair of Grendel's mother, the demon-infested lake. He fights Grendel's mother at the bottom of the lake, who was a much tougher foe than Grendel was. However, he emerges triumphant, and he is showered in treasures by the Danes. Beowulf returns to Geatland and recounts the story of the Geats, his uncle. The Geatish king gives him land to rule. Time passes and Hygelac dies in battle. Beowulf becomes king. He rules for 50 years and becomes old and wise. Then, a fleeing slave takes a golden goblet he finds in a cavern, which he doesn't know belongs to a dragon. The dragon awakes to find the goblet gone, so unleashes his fury on Geatland. The dragon even destroys Beowulf's throne, so he must fight the dragon despite his old age. He and some of his men go to fight the dragon. Beowulf fights the dragon and finds his sword has no impact on the dragon's scales. All of his men but one, named Wiglaf, flee from the dragon in fear. The dragon bites Beowulf's neck, so Wiglaf rushes to his aid and manages to stab the dragon in the stomach. Beowulf, bleeding from his neck, successfully stabs his sword into the dragon, killing him. Beowulf's neck begins to burn as he realizes the bite was venomous. He gives his collar to Wiglaf as he dies and asks him to watch over the lands. The Geats give Beowulf a large funeral, but are afraid that without Beowulf, the kingdom will be conquered by foreign powers.
Our next guest, pop star and Beowulf enthusiast, Jake Beason, is here to talk to us about the concerns presented throughout Beowulf.
Hello. Well, throughout Beowulf, the author presents many concerns, some relating to the universally, some relating to the time period. So let's start off with the time period. As Christianity had just subjugated paganism as the dominant religion, it only makes sense that Christianity is displayed in a positive light. This is why the author often attributes good occurrences to God and his greatness throughout the book. An example of this is after the warriors defeat a beast or go on a safe voyage, they thank God. Another concern, and the conflict the book is based around, is the fear of monsters in this period. However, today's idea of a monster is not the same as the medieval Christians' idea of a monster. The medieval Christians defined monsters as malformed, malcontented, and misbehaving creatures believed to inhabit the periphery of the known world, primarily India, Ethiopia, and the far north. As the definition is very broad, it only makes sense that monsters were a large concern during this time period. Another concern of this time period is the role of women in society. Beowulf is an extremely masculine poem. Some say it could be seen as a chronicle of male desire or a tale of men dying. There are very few female characters in this poem, and if there are, they rarely speak, and they are not identified individually, but rather by the relation they hold to a male character. The masculinity of this poem can be attributed to the patriarchy of society during this time period. Women at this time were basically confined to their house. Now on to the universal themes. A very obvious theme throughout this book is the importance of reputation. The author continually stresses this. An example of this is when Beowulf introduces himself to the king. When he does this, he cites his many achievements in an attempt to gain honor. Another example includes when Beowulf abandons gold in Grendel's cave in order to return with Grendel's head, an act that will without a doubt improve his reputation. Through this, the author suggests that people must go to great lengths and make great sacrifices in order to preserve their reputation. While the author stresses the importance of reputation, he warns of the dangers of revenge. Both Grendel and his mother attack Heorot, a small Danish town motivated by revenge. It is due to their vengeful rages that they are slayed by Beowulf. A final concern that is very crucial to the story and stories like this involves the need for courage in battle. Throughout the novel, Beowulf seems to be indifferent to death. It is this quality that sets him apart from other warriors and allows him to defeat Grendel's mother, and a dragon. Through these victories, the author illustrates that courage is necessary for any good warrior. So there we have it. Those are the main concerns of this novel.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that
Oh,
with us.
you are very welcome. I'm gonna go now.
Farewell.
Farewell.
This book sucks.
Are you tired of reading bad books?
Yeah!
Well, we've got the book for you. You can get Beowulf for only 3 payments of $29.99.
What a steal!
But don't take it from us. Take it from our happy customers.
Beowulf was an action-packed, thrilling novel, but at times it was hard to understand due to the Old English. I would definitely recommend this book.
And if you call in the next 30 seconds, you'll get the Aeneid for absolutely nothing. But why will you get it for free? Because in both tales, both Beowulf and Aeneas are presented with quests, a goal, and an enemy or a challenge. Yet after conquering their enemies, whether it is Grendel or one of the armies of Italy, they both realized that it was not their strength alone which vanquished their enemies, but also the help of God. But wait again! If you call in the next 3 seconds, we'll throw in The Lord of the Rings for absolutely nothing. Why will we throw this in as well? Because in both stories, they take place around the same time period and depict epic heroes and devilish monsters. The orcs in The Lord of the Rings torture the creature Gollum, menace the company in the mines of Moria, and finally kill and carry off 3 members of the Fellowship. These actions correlate to Grendel's nighttime attacks on Heorot, his detestation of cheer, his menacing of the Shieldlings' lands, and the murder and looting of any warrior who stays in Heorot over the night. Hey you two, how do you like Beowulf?
All right!
Well, thanks for tuning in. That's all we got for you today. Hope you read Beowulf.